Norge!
Thank you. Canada!
Get the badge in! Get the badge in, eh? Hey!
Go Canada!
Go Canada! Canada! Norge, 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 Norge.
Canada!
Canada!
Easy win! Canada go home!
Canada er et hockey.
It is Monday at the World Hockey Championship. Canada taking on Norway. Canada 4-1. Norway 1-3-1 in the tournament. Andre Tournier was an assistant coach last year when Canada won a silver medal in Finland. And Tournier, a former head coach of the Canadian national junior team as well in 2021. Tobias Johansson is a 42-year-old Swede who coaches this Norwegian team. His first year in charge of all their men's national teams. The power play has been the problem. Nearly 40 minutes of power play time for Norway since they last scored. They scored their first two of the tournament, haven't scored since.
They've liked their 5-on-5 game, just haven't been able to score the goals that they want to. It's been an ongoing topic of discussion around the team from Norway. And
Joel Hofer, the 22-year-old from Winnipeg, gets the start for Canada. His second, he allowed 1 goal on 17 shots in Canada's 5-1 win over Kazakhstan. Spent most of this year with Springfield, the American Hockey League. Also played for the St. Louis Blues, who picked him in the 4th round in 2018. Jonas Arntzen makes his second start of the tournament for Norway. Allowed 2 goals on 25 shots in their loss to Switzerland. That was another close one. A 3-0 defeat with an empty net goal.
Come on, come on.
And away we go. Lawson Krause comes back for it. Plays that back around. It's picked out by Jack Quinn. Quinn shoots. That goes wide, short side. Canada playing without center Joe Veleno, suspended 5 games by the IIHF for a kick on Nino Niederreiter of Switzerland. As Quinn comes in, throws it back in front. Krause got a stick on that, but it's kicked away. Thomas Olsen works back for Norway. And a loose puck behind the goal, scooped up by Scott Lott. Olivier Joseph banks that back to Tyler Myers.
A bit of a shuffling in the deck. Veleno, who had played a pretty important role for Canada, led their forwards in points. Not available for the rest of the tournament, so Cody Glass gets the call to center what was the one consistent line we had seen throughout the tournament. Sammy Play, Milan Lucic, and Joe Veleno. Cody Glass gets that opportunity to try to keep that line's production up at 5-on-5.
Denmark playing Sweden at this hour in Tampere, Finland. Sweden with designs on first place in the group, and Denmark in a battle for a quarterfinal spot. Matthias Trettenes works in, drops that back. Andreas Martinsen comes in. The late offside indicated against Norway. Jake Middleton with it. Ahead for Mackenzie Weegar. And Lucic fires that down. Cody Glass plays that back. Here's Weegar with it, having a terrific tournament for Canada. And that puck goes up and out of play.
You might have been wondering before the tournament started where the offense would come from for Canada. Well, their leading scorer, Mackenzie Weegar, is having a spectacular tournament. 8 points, 3 goals.
He's tied for 3rd in tournament points overall. I mean, not just defenseman.
And the crazy part about it is he's not just piling it up on the power play. Canada only has 3 power play goals in this tournament.
Right.
You might say, well, yeah, he's got 6 points in the power play. That makes sense. It's not it. That's not the way he's picked them up. So he's been a catalyst, their #1 guy for sure.
Toffoli leaves that back for Peyton Krebs. Justin Barron, long lead pass for the captain, Tyler Toffoli. Gonna drop that for Fantilli now. And then Fantilli has to retreat. Fantilli, one of 5 players in the World Championship who played the World Junior in Halifax in December and January.
A whole bunch are playing for the U.S. team that are high flying right now.
Tyler Gauthier, one of the leading goal scorers in the tournament, had a hat trick yesterday.
Players will be smiling. Their new brain trust, we'll see what their plans are for him.
Norway's got some young players in the lineup, as well as Tobias Johansson was telling us before the game. He wants to integrate some younger players into their group. Jake Neighbors works in along with Carconi. Neighbors for Carconi, the pass was behind him, and using off the puck by Isaac Hansen, a 19-year-old defenseman who's eligible to play in the World Junior next year. Norway won promotion from Division 1A at the World Junior level. So next year, Norway will be in the top divisions at the World Championship, the World Junior Championship, and the Under-18s, where they survived relegation this year. So the first time since 2011, Norway will be in all 3 top divisions. Which
had head coach Tobias Johansson, who's also the director of all things hockey in Norway, feeling good about where they're at going into next year.
He's the longtime head of Frölunda's under-20, under-18, and under-16 programs in Gothenburg, Sweden, where the World Junior will be held next year. Norway beat out Germany at the under-18s, so Germany got relegated out of the under-18s. Vikingstad plays that in. Picked up by Thomas Olsen. And here is Olsen with it. Flips that down. Thomas Berg Paulsen has some room, feeds it back. Shot right on, and kicked away by Hofer on Berg Paulsen. Another long shot. Hofer steers that over the glass and out of play.
And for Canada, they shouldn't get frustrated if the offense doesn't come fast and furious against Norway, because, as you mentioned, they've only given up 10 goals against and a shootout loss to make 11 in 5 games. They're giving up 2 per. So I think it's going to be a nice, comfortable 7-0 game. Switzerland, who we've seen have their way with just about everyone offensively, only scored 2 against Norway, plus an empty netter.
Now they lost 2-1 to Latvia, 2-0 to Czechia. In all those games, lots of power play time. The 2-0 loss to Czechia, had 11 minutes on the power play in that game, including a 5-on-3, and didn't score. That was in the second period. Semi Blay works in, drops that back for Lucic. It's knocked by him. Ken Olam, the captain of this Norwegian team. That pass picked off. Nathan Baird moved ahead for Lucic. They're celebrating athletic success in Norway these days. Erling Haaland, leading goal scorer for Manchester City as they captured the premiership. There's a sharp angle shot over to stop there and hold it.
More awkward than it should have been. That's how Joel Hofer was beat in the only game he's played against Kazakhstan. A tight angle shot to the goal line from the other side.
Here's Krebs, drops it back to Uyghur. Uyghur throws that towards the goal. That's steered up and out by Arntzen. Tobias Johansson was joking with us before the game that they could use Haaland on the power play for Norway in this tournament.
Sure, power forward, good for everybody. And Hofer has to fight to keep that out. He loses track of it. He gets his goal stick caught up in the net. That is not textbook by any stretch. And Norway comes very close to opening the scoring. Hofer was clean other than that awkward short side goal he gave up.
Hofer was a gold medalist for Canada at the 2020 World Juniors in Ostrava in the Czech Republic. He was the second biggest star of his family. His kid sister, who I think was like 7 years old, just celebrated every save wildly. He was the TV darling in that tournament.
I wonder if she's over here now, because second weekend of the tournament.
Yeah, families have started arriving.
Families and spouses and parents and friends have started to creep over for Canada, so you'll see some jerseys being sported by young kids that might be getting their family members on.
There's Jake Middleton with it. Backhand shot towards the goal, kicked out by Arntzen. To Foley. Walks out of the corner. Tied up there by Isaac Hansen, who became the second player in the history of this tournament to have a shootout attempt in a game in which he did not play a second.
You better be good at shootouts if you're not going to play a second.
A 19-year-old defenseman, and he told the coaches, I want to shoot. He's been really good in practice. Apparently unstoppable in practice. He was stopped in the game, by the way. Alvin Salston brings that out. He's been with Eric, teammates on this Norwegian team, and then right before the shootout began, they asked him again. He said, absolutely, I want to shoot.
Just everything but scoring. Make the story complete.
Now a centering pass. And Neighbors went right through Marcus Vikingstad. Olsen takes that return pass. Thomas Olsen back in the corner with it. Plays that back. It's picked off, and a chance now for Neighbors. Moving in on England Anderson, who squeezed him off the puck, but it bounces back to McBain. Jack McBain. It's stolen away by Johan Johannesson. He's taken down, and a penalty coming to Jake Neighbors.
Well, all the talk about the power play. Here we go.
Olam turns it over. Lawton flipped that wide of the goal, and Norway will go to the power play in a scoreless first period. So Norway 2 for 21 on the power play. Started 2 for 2. And when Anderson feeds that down, Olsen. Andreas Martins works back in front. That's tipped away by Lawson Krause. England Anderson for Johannesson. Scott Loughton got a stick on him, and Lawton knocked that free. Big free by Mackenzie Weegar to the line, but not out. Held by Ole England Anderson. Long shot, and Hofer kicks that away. Martinson feeds it back, but the pass misses everyone and goes back down the ice. Norway went 0 for 6 in the power play. That 2-1 loss to Latvia. You get this. You get the idea here.
Yeah.
They've been in games. You
think we're harping on it? Just wait to hear the coach talk. It's all he wants to talk about.
He really feels like 5-on-5. They've been as good as any.
Yeah. And largely, they have been. It's not like they scored a bunch, but certainly defending and goaltending has been more than adequate to pick up more than the 4 points they have at this point.
Tretinez winds in. They've tried different personnel, and Haga has their 2 power play goals. Hofer sweeps that behind the net. Picked off by Sondre Olden. Liljeberg for Olem to Tretinez. Flips it back in front. Haga works that rink wide. Olem in, shoots. Hofer gets an arm on that. Canada's penalty killers have allowed just 2 goals and 18 opposition attempts.
Pretty good effort by Norway here. Keep the puck in. You got to get down. England Anderson. We got a third baseman covering that one, and then tries to find backdoor. Oh, it's right there too. Olsen had beat Middleton back to the front of the net. Just couldn't quite connect.
Martin's off the face-off. Goes back to England Anderson, who's a late addition to this Norwegian lineup. They've got some injury issues. And it's fired down the ice by Middleton. Norway did not qualify for the Olympics in Beijing. They lost the final game of the qualification tournament on home ice in Oslo to Denmark, which qualified for the Olympics for the first time. Long shot blocked in front by Middleton. Neighbors picks it up. He's got a man ahead. It's Jack Quinn that plays offside at the Norwegian line.
You have it. You gotta make a better pass there. Jake Neighbors. Jack Quinn trying to stretch it out. He's in alone. Neighbors steps out of the box. He's got him sprung nowhere near him. And if Quinn can flatten out a little bit, maybe give a bit of a better angle. He wants to maintain his advantage on the back checker, and he just couldn't get a clean pickup on the skate. Forced himself offside. That's frustrating.
I mentioned that Denmark beat Norway in Olympic qualifying in 2021. Nikolai Ehlers led the way for Denmark in that tournament. He's got another point here today as Nicholas Jensen has scored for Denmark early on against Sweden.
Not over yet for Denmark. They have tough opponents down the stretch, but still alive.
Sweden today, Finland tomorrow. Probably need 5 points of a possible 6 in the last 2 days to qualify. They lose the tiebreaker to Germany. Lead pass goes to Cody Glass. In comes Glass with it. Centers it, tap wide by Lucic. Glass taking the place of Joe Valeno on this line for Canada. Here's Lucic with the puck in the corner. Threads it back in front. Glass spun and tried to shoot it. Bounced away from him. Salston turns it over to center ice. Lucic rink wide to apparently be Joseph winding in. Joseph in on Hansen. Hansen plays in Leksand in the Swedish Junior League. A lot of the top Norwegian juniors play in Sweden. Hansen shoots. That's kicked away. And the Norwegians have no problem with that. Now centering pass, quick shot, scores! Martinson! A turnover by Canada, and Norway's grabbed the early lead.
Andreas Martinson with a quick release for his first of the tournament off a turnover on a forecheck. Lots of Canadian players back there. Neighbors gonna try to pull it off the wall, but overskates it. And everyone is taking routes that think they're looking to attack. Martinson can attack from a back-checking position right down the slot. And quick catch and release. Good feed from Olam. And Hofer's beat glove side.
Andreas Martinson spent 5 years in the NHL with Colorado, Montreal, and Chicago.
Pretty good release, cross-body catch, and let her fly.
Hofer knocks that down, feeds it across to Quinn. Salston slides that back down to the Canadian zone as Riga goes back. Here's Lawton. Scott Lawton up ahead for Lawson Krause. And Krause winds in on Johannesson. Krause pokes it out, bounce right back in front. Worked free by Quinn. And England Anderson has it back for Norway. Berg Paulson moves in. That's turned over. Eric Salston trying to find Vikingstad with that pass. Now Vikingstad has it back. Works it back to Krogdahl. Krogdahl shoots. That's chipped wide by Berg Paulson. And Fantilli has it back for Canada. Banks it back to center ice. And Canada makes a change. Here's Vikingstad works in. Vikingstad shoots. Hofer punches that away. Rebound, Olsen. And Hofer got a piece of that. Back at the point is Krogdahl. Long shot, rebound, that's swept away by Bear. As that shot by Kostestool got through.
Some anxious moments in their own end.
Now Fantilli fires that down. Off the end boards it goes. Toffoli gets there first. Throws it back in front. That was knocked away from Krebs by Krogdahl. Krogdahl goes up towards the goal. Hofer steers that away. Toffoli. Back across from Myers. Loose at center ice. Albert Solston. Back comes Toffoli along with Neighbors. Got it to Toffoli. Shoots. That's knocked away by Arnson. Picked up by McBain. McBain feeds that back to Myers across to Brad Hunt. Shoots. That was blocked by Vesterheim. Another one of those young Norwegians. Vesterheim is 18, plays in Mora in the Swedish league. Here's Myers with it. Plays mostly for their junior program, but they're also in the Allsvenskan, the second Swedish league. Hunt shoots. That's tipped wide by McBain. Liljeberg. Off gets it back for Norway. And slides that back to Isaac Hansen, taking a regular shift today for Norway.
Well, we're 12 and a half minutes in here, Gord. And I don't know if Canada's had a good scoring chance yet.
Shots are 6-5 Norway. And a chance off the side of the goal from Martinson.
If a wake-up call was needed or a realization that Norway's a stingy defensive team, it should have clicked in by now. They're going to have bodies back in front of the net all the time.
Lucic for Bear. Ethan Bear lifts that rink wide for Glass. Cody Glass towards the goal for Lucic. Bounced away, knocked down by Blais. Sammy Blais. That pass for Middleton draws him out of the zone. And Middleton goes back across to Bear. Pounds that down in the Norwegian zone. Middleton jumps up for Canada. Kraus got taken down. And Haga plays it back to England Anderson. Johan Johannesson also plays in Mora in the Allsvenskan, the second Swedish league. In a great building. In comes Jack Quinn. Home rink during the lockout in 04-05 of a couple of Detroit Red Wings went there. Some other NHL guys wound up in that little town. Played back in. There's Lawton pivoting back in the corner. Lawton drops it out to Myers, who's jumped up. Brought up by Sondre Olden, 2-on-1, along with Eric Solston. Centering pass for Solston, shoots Hofer with a pad save. Myers gets it back, slides it to center ice, and Krebs works in. Krebs, nifty move, winds in, and Williamberg knocked it off his stick. Slapped back in by Hunt. Fantilli. Krebs trying to dig that free. Fantilli in there as well. And Berg Paulson has it back for Norway.
Canada battling right now, but they're having a hard time breaking down the one-on-one defensive coverage in the offensive zone. It's everything to the outside so far.
Johansson feeds that ahead. Drop pass there for Vesterheim, that's knocked away. Uyghur has it back, turned over at center ice, and it bounces back to the Norwegian line. Uyghur back at center. Flips it ahead for Carcone, and Johannesson stopped him from breaking in.
Well, idea chip it through, a little touch play by Carcone, almost sprung himself. And needs something, a little life, a little jump. Get the team sparked.
Norway's had the only power play so far, has the only goal. Martinson feeds that down, rolls down to Hofer, plays it away from Tretinez. Uyghur with a hard bump there from Martinson, who is a large individual. Middleton lays it ahead to Carcone. Drops it back to Glass. Cody Glass pivots back. And centering pass intercepted by Tretinez. And center ice, Glass has it back for Lucic. Loose puck bounces back to Myers. Rink wide, he goes to Lawton. Lawton moves in, drops it off to Pierre-Louis Joseph, shoots! And the save made and the rebound gathered up by Jonas Arntzen. Best chance of the game for Canada. And Arntzen turns him away. 1-0 Norway leads here in the first. .3:23 to go here in the opening period. A 1-0 lead for Norway. Denmark has a 1-0 lead on Sweden.
I'm almost proud of you, Gord. We made it through almost the entire first period in a game where Norway is beating Canada without mentioning that Norway has beaten Canada one time in their previous 24 meetings in the World Championships.
And that you were on that team?
And I was on that team. So
I am dining on tongue here in the first period. I do have some questions as we go along here, but
it can happen.
Of course it can happen.
Goaltending, an off game, power play, whatever it might be. We lost 4-3.
What was that game like?
I think the shots were 48-16. They just got a couple, and whenever they had a chance they seemed to score, we couldn't score enough.
In comes Fantilli with it. Adam Fantilli plays that around to Barron.
And you watch this game, Norway's not scared out here.
No.
They're not intimidated at all.
Here's Barron with it. Long wrist shot. That's gloved by Arnson.
And by scared, I don't mean physically scared, but just the idea of playing against Canada and competing with Canada. You know, at times you can have a bit of an advantage, but Norway's liked their game. They've liked their first period. Martinson getting the first goal. They've played Canada straight up even through 20.
Canada currently tied with Latvia for third place in the group. Latvia plays Switzerland tomorrow. Canada has Czechia tomorrow.
Canada's in the quarterfinals no matter what. They could be tied by Slovakia in a random turn of events, but they have the tiebreaker.
And now brought down at center ice is Fantilli. And so Canada gets a late power play here with 2:15 to go in the first. So Canada, the power play here late in the first period. Canada's 3 for 15 on the power play. Lucic, Riga, and Fantilli have the power play goals for Canada. Off the draw, Fantilli draws that back to Uyghur. Mackenzie Uyghur for Fantilli. Fantilli drops that down to Lawton. Lawton flips it back to Fantilli. Uyghur to Fantilli with a shot. He ripped that high. Fantilli throws that down. Bumped back by Lawton. Uyghur shoots. That's knocked away by Arnson.
And this is one area we spent a lot of time talking about Norway's power play, but Canada with just one more goal in the tournament than Norway has with just 3. And Towers Foley has been the captain of this team. He's a very good power play performer, was this year in Calgary. This is one area if they want to have a chance to win a gold medal, the power play's got to get crisper than it's been so far.
Hunt across to Krebs. Hunt can really rip it from back there. So can Carcone. His shot was blocked by Johannesson. And Johannesson plays it back down to the Canadian zone. Hofer leaves it there for Hunt. Hunt split his time this year between the Colorado Avalanche and their American League affiliate, Colorado Eagles. Hofer knocks that down. Brings it across to Carcone, to Krebs. He's knocked off the puck by Trentonez, but Carcone takes it right back. In across the line, Carcone walks it and shoots. Arnson got a glove on that. At the point is Hunt. Back down to Krebs. Hunt, Carcone. 45 seconds to go on the power play. Hunt shoots, ripped that wide. Blast to Krebs. Carcone. In for Krause. He fires. And it's set down the ice by Krogol. Here comes Uyghur with it. Winds through center ice, in across the line. Uyghur drops, played across by Toffoli, just missed Fantilli with that pass.
That was a good play off the rush. Uyghur taking the quick up and challenging Norway. Almost connected between Toffoli and Fantilli.
Time winding down on this power play. Jack Quinn lifts that down. The final seconds of the first period, Uyghur. Johannesson. The setup along the boards. Hoff with it. And Norway will go to the dressing room with a 1-0 lead after one at the 2023 World Hockey Championship in Riga, Latvia.
Shots on goal in the first period. Team Norway 7, Team Canada 9. In Napa, the score in game between Denmark and Sweden is 1-1.
Norway first. Come on, come on. Come on, hit. Come on. Hey, guys. Come on, guys.
Elias Arntzen of Norway stopped all 9 shots he faced in that opening period. Canada trailing a lower-ranked opponent after the first period for the second time. They were down 1-0 to Slovenia earlier in the tournament.
Canada's had some slow starts previously in this tournament, but they've always managed to right the ship and find their better game. They'll have to do the same against an inspired opponent right now. Norway playing well.
Canada beat Norway 4-2 in the last meeting. That was here in Riga in 2021. That was Canada's first win after 3 consecutive losses. As that shot turned away from the early rush from Carcone. Canada got off to a brutal start in that tournament, but rallied, beat Norway, and that kicked off the run as they went on to win the gold medal in this arena.
Can they get 3 good games in a row? That's what it's going to come down to once they get to the quarterfinals. You want to be playing well heading into it.
McBain works in. He was knocked off the puck, and now Olsen plays it back out.
It's just when it comes time to get to next week, Tuesday, can you string 3 in a row together? Or Thursday, I guess, 3 in a row together.
Uyghur winds in, shoots, it goes off the stick of Liljeberg, back at the point. And a long shot by Carcone, steered away by Arntzen as Carcone goes off. Uyghur goes back, being watched by Martinson, who has the Norwegian goal. Cody Glass winds in, trying to drop that back, picked up by Martinson. And Tretinez, rink wide to Olam. Tretinez, bumped off the puck by Glass. And now Myers takes Olam off the puck, finds play with it, goes off the skate of Glass, and Cody Glass has it back. Glass, lead pass chipped away. Lucic on the forecheck, goes in on England Anderson and works it free. Dropped that back, but Barron missed the puck. Bear falls. Eric Solston picks it up. Solston spins that back, long shot, score! Deflected in, might have hit Scott Lock in front, and it's 2-0 Norway.
Olden will take it. An innocent-looking play. And starts another turnover below the goal line by Canada. Solston kicks it out to Olden, and Scott Lawton, Hofer gets the hands up. Like, you can't tip that right in front of me. He's trying to stop it with the stick, but I mean, that's a low percentage one to try to stop with your stick. You're right in front of your goaltender. There's no one around. Just let him take the shot. It's one thing that's on the ice. It's one thing that's into your chest, but when it's a foot off the ice, you got to pick it off with your blade. More bad things are likely to happen than good. And the worst thing happened for Canada. Down 2-0 now against a team that has only given up 10 goals in 5 games. But their work cut out for them. Climb back into this.
Here's Bear with it. Up ahead to Barron. Finds Fantilli. Fantilli shoots from a sharp angle. Arntzen the save. Toffoli goes back after it. Got it to Foley. Back around. Kicked away from Krebs. Ivan Solston lines that back down to the Canadian zone. England Anderson put that back down to the Canadian zone.
You thought they were committed to checking before.
Norway, a country of about 5 million people. Not necessarily a hockey power. However, a Winter Olympic powerhouse in Beijing 2022. Led the Olympics in both overall medals and gold medals won. They won 4 more gold medals than any other country.
Slap a pair of cross-country skis on these guys and look out.
Speed skates.
Look out.
And I mentioned the home country of one of the greatest soccer players in the world right now, Erling Haaland of Manchester City.
But it's this group of players that are having a solid tournament. You're playing a pro league that's not even always a full-time
Right.
job.
Pass missed him. Yeah, really only a couple of the teams pay full-time wages. Myers fires, that goes wide. Which is why the Norwegian Federation actually encourages its players to play elsewhere. Neighbors comes in. That bounces back in front. Myers couldn't reach it. He and Bain collided. That's about 13 feet of collision right there. And then Neighbors sweeps it back in. Tretanez for Olam. Middleton knocks that away. And played back to center ice. Big hit there as he slammed down Kazastol. Puck works back on the slot pair, works it and shoots. And Arntzen makes the stop. Tretanez slides that back down to the Canadian zone, and Blay back to pick it up. Here's Bear. Aaron got bumped on the puck by Tretanez. Eric Salston moves in. Glass slides that back. Sending a pass by Blay, misfired. Now Haga has it back. Haga winds it across the line, but it plays offside at the Canadian blue line.
Well, in every passing minute, the belief and confidence starts to grow. It was Andreas Martinson who got the ball rolling in the first period off a turnover, quick strike, goal, and into the second, turnover, get into the net, and this one's a bad bounce off Scott Lawton's stick. The belief on Norway that they can actually win this game is there now.
Moves it center ice and then bounce back to the Norwegian zone. Liljeberg. Myers steamrolled Eric Salston as Fantilli swings back to pick it up. Englund Anderson. Fantilli chips that back. And Hunt plays it back around to Myers. Lead pass to Krabs. Cross ice to Fantilli. That's not done by Johannesson.
A lot of fluidity for Canada moving the puck up the ice. Always one guy by himself or passing the skates or a high flipper. It's just hard to make something happen with.
There's Westerheim with it. How about the hopping and slam there by Riga. Vikingstad got bumped by Krause. Cross ice pass goes to Westerheim. Chris Crosby with Vikingstad. Vikingstad's dad, Tore, scored the winning goal for Norway in that game in 2000.
No way.
Yeah.
His kid is playing out here. How old is Marcus Vikingstad? 23 years old, so he would have been 3 years old or 1 year old back then.
Yeah. His dad scored a power play goal midway through the third.
Yeah.
When Norway beat Canada in 2000. Where was that?
St. Petersburg,
Russia.
Russia. Yeah. And we lost that game. We went on to play in the semifinals. We lost to Czechia. We lost to Finland in the bronze, but made it all the way to the final weekend, despite the only loss in history. And Andre Tourigny is hoping that stays the only loss in history. It's like it's like the reverse Miami Dolphins.
All the members of the 2000 Canadian national team were.
We pop a champagne when someone moves on the block.
Actually, Mathias Norstebo, the defenseman for Norway, his dad also played in that team.
Okay.
If you're feeling badly about that, last year at the World Junior Championship, I called a goal scored by a player whose dad's goal I also called at the World Junior Championship.
I got a ways to go before that happens to me. But sadly, I can kind of relate to how the players on Team Canada are feeling. It's a bit of stunned disbelief that you're actually in this position. You know it's going to be a tough game, but it's Norway. You know, you have that, you want to respect the opponent, but it's Norway. We're Canada. We're going to win. We'll figure out how to win. And the longer the game goes, the tighter it stays. And then you start scrambling, trying to find answers. And that's where Canada is right now in this game, the same way we were 20 years ago.
In comes Olam with it.
Here we go, boys, here we go!
Up there by Olivier Joseph. Joseph played back around. McBain plays that back around. Joseph goes after it.
Just suffocating checking the puck pursuit by Norway. So good.
And then Anderson fires, kicked up by Hofer. They're chanting with us and shoots again. And the referee blew a quick whistle there. 11:57 to go in the second period. Norway a 2-0 lead on Canada. Norway leading Canada 2-0 here in Riga in Tampere at this hour. Sweden and Denmark are tied 1-1.
One of the parts of a game plan for Team Canada in this game would be to try to get the puck. Even if you can't generate great looks, have it enough that you can generate power plays. And that's been another part of it. They've had one power play at the tail end of the first period, but they just haven't had it having Norway under pressure enough.
Uyghur to Lucic. Pivots back, drops it to Middleton. Jake Middleton brings that around to Uyghur. Mackenzie Uyghur back to Lucic. Shoots, scores! Milan Lucic fires it home, and Canada's back within one. The big man scores a big goal.
They needed it. They needed something. Milan Lucic comes through 3 goals now through his 6th game, and utilizing that area of the ice up high. He's covering up for a defenseman who's pinched down, and good work by Blais in front. Sammy Blais pins Johannesson down right in front of the netminder, and Lucic's able to walk in, and that heavy wrister slinging it through. Arntzen can't see it. He can't stop it. And have a dog, have a celebration.
Yeah. Hot dog in one hand, flag in the other, you're all set.
Back within 1. Another point for Mackenzie Uyghur as well.
Yeah. He entered this tournament, or entered this game in 3rd place in tournament scoring. And now Arntzen jumps on that.
Try to build on that, make Norway a little bit uncomfortable. Middleton will probably pick up the secondary assist as he rimmed it around for Uyghur. But a nice job by Sammy Blais. Establishing position, keeping Johannesson behind him, and allowing the wrister to get past Arntzen.
Robert Salston pulls that frame. Out to center ice. Joseph for Fantilli. To Krebs. Back for Adam Fantilli. Works in and rolled off his stick. Another chance on the side of the goal. Toffoli centers it. And Vesterheim brings it back the other way. Knocked away by Joseph. To Toffoli. And Joseph back to pick it up. Slaps that to center ice. When the Hoffman, so that is close to offside of the Canadian line.
It was like the Cale Makar one. He brought it inside, but he never touched it.
Right.
Until he cleared.
Chipped out by Krebs. It got knocked off stride by Liljeberg. Berg Paulson, crunched there by Myers. That shot by Hansen was blocked as Krebs says up to center ice. In comes Sondre Olden. To Thomas Olsen, long shot saved by Hofer. Vikingstad. Leaves that down to Berg Paulson, shoots, and Hofer steers that away. England Anderson back at the point to Vikingstad. Across he goes. Williamberg pounded that wide. Another shot blocked in front, this time by McBain. And Toffoli chips it out. McBain in a race with it. And Johannesson knocked that away. Past the midway point of the second period. In comes McBain. Posts up as Canada changes. And Toffoli has to hop off quickly. Quinn wisely waited to touch the puck. A little bit too many men on Canada. In comes McBain. Going to feed that across, and that pass deflected away by England Anderson. Krause. Long shot, that's gloved by Arnson. 2-1, Norway leads here in the second period. Games on tap here in Riga and in Tampere. Canada will take on Czechia in the second game. Norway will play Slovakia in the first. And the nightcap has Switzerland against Latvia, and that will be a madhouse here.
Latvia likely will have to pick up a point to make the quarterfinals.
Right. No easy task against the Swiss team that has rolled through this tournament so far. Kostas plays that across. Williamberg fans on that. Krause back with it. Knocked off his stick. Picked up by Olam. Centers it. And diving to knock that away was Uyghur.
Well, Mackenzie Uyghur is playing a lot. I think every other shift he's out there.
Isaac Hansen has that knocked away. Hansen eligible to play for Norway in the World Junior Championship in Gothenburg, Sweden this year. Coming up in December. As Quinn picks that up. By the way, Canada expected to announce the host city for the 2025 World Junior. Likely next week or the week after. On the Memorial Cup, which is happening in Kamloops next week. The teams are decided for that. Quebec Remparts will represent Quebec. Peterborough Pete's in Ontario. Seattle is the Western Hockey League champion. And Kamloops is the host team. Played ahead by Lucic. He was the Memorial Cup MVP all the way back in 2007 for the Vancouver Giants. Now Barron runs into Bear, and Olden picks it free. Olden trying to throw that back in front. Hofer gets the blocker down and freezes that.
Norway trying to collect themselves after having their lead cut in half. To get back to the forechecking game, and the tight defense is Olden. He's got the game-winning goal right now as he can stand up. Talk about these young players that Norway is trying to implement in their lineup. You've been around this tournament for a long time. You've seen a lot of names for 10 years straight.
Yeah.
Vesterheim being another one, 18 years old. Another guy who plays in Mora.
Johannesson works that in. England Anderson feeds that back down. Sneak off the stick of Carconi. And now Myers comes in. Norway last appeared in the quarterfinals of the tournament 11 years ago. in the 2012 event. They would need top-end goaltender. Westerheim shoots at a sharp angle, and Henrik Hochland, who's been the #1 goalie in this tournament, was the goalie of the year in Germany this year. He's had just so-so results with the national team. That's been talked about back in Norway.
He probably doesn't get this kind of support he gets in Germany with his club team, you know what I mean? Like,
Pastor feeds that back in front. Vikingstad with a shot that goes off the stick of Neighbors. Krogdahl. Back across, long shot taken in by Olsen, and Hofer makes the save.
I think anything that introduces emotion in this game is good for Canada. The game is being played kind of flat, not really physical, not particularly chippy, which is the way that Norway would prefer it to be played. But Canada wants to try to get something going as Joseph and Burke Paulson get pushing and shoving after the whistle. And a bit of a test for Joel Hofer as well.
Yeah, Hofer's had the 1 start previously. Victory over Kazakhstan. Had a very good year in Springfield, the American, with a .921 save percentage for the St. Louis Blues American League affiliate. 6 games of the Blues this year. He was terrific for Canada in the 2020 World Junior, named the top goalie there with a .946 save percentage. Canada dramatic gold medal game win over Russia.
Burke Paulson slashed Uyghur's stick off the faceoff.
Yes.
Wasn't dropped. Uyghur complains. He starts skating away after the real one is.
Middleton shoots as a club.
Uyghur lifts Burke Paulson stick into the rafters. It was a great exchange, and the referee wasn't going to call him for an interference because Burke Paulson got away with a bit of a cross-check on the stick to begin with as Hofer throws it towards the Norwegian bench.
Barnes, another guy plays in Sweden, plays for Örebro in the Swedish Hockey League.
Players they have on their team, Adam Fantilli.
30 goals in 36 games with the University of Michigan this year. Krebs works in, drops it off. Toffoli winds and shoots and just missed wide. That gets by Middleton and back down the ice. Barron goes up to Quinn. In comes Jack Quinn, spins, that's poked away. Johannesson goes back to the point to Barron. Barron shoots, that's off the stick of Olden, up and out of play. 5:50 to go here in the second period. Norway leads Canada 2-1. Families have started arriving. Shots are even at 8 here in the period. A hot shot there by Quinn. Stopped by Arnson.
Chipping their way into this game is Canada.
What a big-time scorer from the Ottawa 67s in the OHL. 52 goals in 62 games.
You see his release when he gets it away. Still learning how to best apply his speed to create open ice for himself.
Just 21 years old, he was the American League Rookie of the Year the year before last.
Scored a ton in the American League as a young player as well, you're right.
Ethan Bear back with it, snaps it across the crowds, that was kicked away. And like so many players in that age group, 20 to 22, their key development years really interrupted by the pandemic. Extended seasons, shortened seasons.
Chasing their game all over the place, playing overseas, playing pro.
In comes Quinn with a shot that goes high and out of play.
But to land in Buffalo right now is not a bad place.
No.
Jack Quinn, there obviously. Krebs. They got a young group of very talented players that you can work with on that team going forward.
Kevin Levi, the Canadian goaltender, terrific young player. You got Owen Power and Rasmus Dahlin on defense. Dylan Cousins up front, big part of Canada's attack last year in the World Championship.
Tage Thompson's not a bad player.
Yep.
Alex Tucker's having a fantastic tournament for the Americans as well.
Thomas Olsen moves off the puck by Myers. It'll be Joseph. Skates it back out for Canada. Looks ahead to Lucic. In comes the line. Lucic. Still on it. Two Norwegians converged on him, and now Blade tries to pull it free and does. Lucic slides that back to Myers. Crossing goes to Joseph for Glass. Shoots short side. Arntzen makes the stop. At the point, Myers steps into that. Looking for the stick of Blade. And that misfired. Vikingstad taps it back around to Liljeberg. Emil Liljeberg plays in the Swedish Allsvenskan. Fourth-round pick of Arizona in 2021. Hansen. Up for Olam. That puck goes into the Norwegian bench.
Well, if you would have told Norway 4 minutes left in the second period, we'll give you a 2-1 lead.
All day and twice on Sunday.
Exactly right. Enough to get the coach smiling.
Yeah.
Hansen having a good time, as would his players.
Where's the headset, which is interesting?
He's tapped into the video room.
He talks directly to them.
Which is unusual. Most coaches like to have that relayed to them by their assistants. But he's a multitasker. Run the lines, listen to the review decisions.
Runs their national team program.
Run all the other programs in the national team, yeah. He's ready for summer. He's had a good year.
Rieger. Up ahead to McBain. In comes McBain. Tretadez gets it high on the glass and back out. Back goes Rieger for it. Rieger taken down by Martinson. Carconi. That's bumped back to Olam. Inside 4 to go in the second period. Heavy bounce in the corner there. And Rieger plays it back to center ice. Olam fires it right back in. Rieger gains center and fires that down. Carconi on the hunt for it. Casastul stepped into him. Krogdahl. Up ahead, here's Haga with it. Haga feeds it across to Olden. A drop for the trailer that was ticked away by Krebs. And Krogdahl lets it back down to the Canadian zone. Bear to Fantilli. Up ahead, the Hunt jumping up. You got Tangle up there with Eric Solston, and now Bear has it back. Forward to Foley. And down to Foley, lifts that head for Fantilli, the puck just out of his reach. Bear jumps up to keep that alive. Ethan Bear plays it back around to Fantilli. Oh, big hit there on Casastul, and a penalty coming to Fantilli. And I'm sure they'll look at this. They may call a 5 and then look at it and see if they're going to downgrade it, as Fantilli slammed into Casastul in the corner.
Casastul bleeding. Oh yeah, some blood down there on the ice. Oh boy.
You know what?
So, you know what? By the NHL standard, that's a completely legal hit. He's got his puck on his stick. He doesn't stride, he glides, doesn't charge, doesn't jump. That's not even a penalty, but there's head contact. That's the problem.
Right, but was the initial contact to the head, or did he ride up?
No, I think the initial contact was right to the head.
So they've called a 5, and now they can look at this to see if it's 5 or 2.
And I get why they're doing that. Guy's down, he's bleeding from his nose, clearly banged his head. But if you're Adam Fantilli, you're trying to get in the forecheck. He has the puck, he's skating towards you, you're not charging, no elbow, you're not jumping off the ground, you just run into him. Now Casastul is bent over, he's 5'10". Like, it's a textbook clean hit.
Yeah.
But internationally, head contact, which was the first point of contact. I don't know if it was the primary point of contact, but definitely the first point of contact. You're staring at your pass, and you got hit. You got hit hard. But I think this should stay. Well, if it's a head contact and it's aggressive enough, it could be the 5. But Fantilli's playing with a mindset that where he's played, that's not a penalty, let alone a 5. They're different rules, so that's okay. But that's not a dirty, undisciplined play by Fantilli. That's just hit a guy who's in a bad spot, and he may have to pay the consequences for it. And remember, Canada's already down 1 forward with Veleno. They only have 12 forwards.
Right.
They don't have 14 kicking around like some countries.
They came here with 13 and 7. And here is the call from Sean McFarland.
91, match penalty for checking to the head.
So it's 5 in a game.
That's the rule, That's a tough outcome for a play that he probably makes all the time. He got him in the head. And I guess it was aggressive enough to warrant the 5. And we see Kazdul pop down like that, cut, and stays on the ice, and blood and everything else. So,
Down 11 forward, shorthanded for 5 minutes.
Norway is never going to. You have to put someone in the box here, Gord?
Yeah.
What?
It's a rule.
Oh, not because the guy has to be out there? You have to have a guy in, even though there's less than 5 minutes left in the period? I always like not putting a guy in there, they put him there after the next period. Have one more penalty killer available too.
England Anderson plays that around to Martinson, so a long power play coming here for Norway. Will straddle the second intermission as Lawton plays it down.
And if Norway ever wanted their power play to come through for them, which it has not done since the first game, since their first 2 power play attempts, now's the time.
The second power play of the game, Vikingstad trying to throw that back in front, blocked by Bear. Now Neighbors high off the glass and back down the ice.
Joel Hoffer trying to clear out his face. He got a face full of snow on Martinson stopping in front. He's having a hard time seeing right now. Keeps cleaning off his cage.
Haga has both of Norway's power play goals that were scored in their first 2 power play attempts against Kazakhstan. Since then, feathers. Olam works in. And Myers plays that out as Krause slams it back down to the Norwegian zone. If there's any break for Canada, it's that this power play is half in the end of the second and half in the start of the third.
The guys arrest.
Olam moves in, winds through the offensive zone. And Olam slides that down to Tretinez, back for Olam. Minute and a half to go in the period. Tretinez, flushed out by Uyghur, slides it across to Olam. Across he goes to Haga, skipped off his stick and back out to center. McBain heads off as Lawton comes back on. Liljeberg drops that. That was offside. Now Lawton busts in on Olsen. Scott Lawton trying to work that free. He and Olsen collide in the corner. And Lawton doing a good job of keeping the puck down at that end of the ice with a minute to go in the second period.
1 minute left in the second period.
England Anderson fires that down. Funny bounce in the corner. Hofer brings it high off the glass. Martinson knocks it down. Andreas Martinson feeds that back. Johannesson to Martinson. Shoots! Tipped wide by Vikingstad. And here's Myers, now a rolling puck, and he slams that down the ice just ahead of the linesman. 30 seconds to go in the period. England Anderson back to Johannesson. Glass jumped up and tried to interrupt that pass. Here's Middleton back around to Uyghur, rolling puck, and he sends it back down the ice. And over half of the 5-minute major is now gone. As time winds down here in the period, McBain almost pulled that freight. And Norway will have 2 minutes and 5 seconds of power play time to continue into the third period, leading Canada 2-1 at the 2023 World Hockey Championship.
Vi må spille ham en gang. Om jeg kommer. Se på oss, that's it! Da får vi vente bare inn deg.
91, match penalty for checking to the head.
Shots on goal in the second period. Team Norway 9, Team Canada 10.
Here we go. Hey. Head, head. Head. We're good. Heads up, heads up. Come on, come on, come on. Hey, come on, come on. Come on, guys, come on.
Match penalty for checking to the head.
Jonas Arntzen has allowed 1 goal on 19 shots faced. His Norwegian team trying to beat Canada for the second time ever at the World Championship. Canada is 23-1 all time. The only loss coming in 2000. A 4-3 defeat. A third period power play goal was the difference there. And Norway will start here with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left on the match penalty.
And Norway first. Norway.
To Canada's out of Fantilli.
Canada.
And we're underway here in the third period.
So if you're Canada, it's not been a good first 2 periods. Norway's played you hard. Kill the rest of this 5-minute major and then get to work. Amp up the physicality, the pace, the energy. And if you do, you'll get chances.
Riga knocks that free. The penalty killer's getting a workout for Canada, but as we mentioned, this 5-minute power play did straddle the second intermission, so that's one benefit. As Thomas Olsson winds out with it. Olsson busts it across the line and shoots, and Hofer knocks that high in the air. Love down in the corner by Vikingstad. Here's McBain on it. Jack McBain. Around the middle stat, battles it off the glass by England Anderson and back down the ice. And Norway, which will not qualify for the quarterfinals, will look back on an unproductive power play as being the difference. Nearly 45 consecutive minutes of power play time without scoring since scoring their first 2 opportunities of the tournament.
It all started so promising.
And we said they only scored 4 power play goals last year. Oh, they got 2 in the first game. They're
Here they go.
off to the races. Well, they got stuck in the mud. Here's Olam with it. Get Olam. Had a first period assist, moves him to 5th all-time in Norwegian scoring. His brother Mathis is the all-time scoring leader for Norway. Scott Lock.
And even if they don't score, that's 5 more minutes off the clock that Canada hasn't had a chance to even the game up.
That pass hit Olam in the skate, brought in by Haga, who has both of Norway's power play goals in the tournament. Tretinez works in, 15 seconds to go on the power play. Tretinez drops that back to Olam. Olam feeds that back. Liljeberg shoots, it goes off a skate, and it's swept out by Kraus. And that's going to do it for the 5-minute power play.
So now you got to go. Now you got to take that, build off it, and find a way to inject some energy into this game.
Canada is down to 11 forwards as Neighbors sweeps back, so we'll keep an eye on the combinations here in the third period. This is Lucic with Krebs and Neighbors, and Peyton Krebs works in. Krebs with a hit on Castelstool, who's back in the game after being hit by Fantilli that drew the 5-minute match penalty. Krebs back for it. Up ahead for Lucic. Lucic got spun around, it's poked back, and Krebs swings back for Canada. Run back around for Toffoli with Norway changing. Tyler Toffoli. Threads that head for Lucic, who has the Canadian goal. Lucic. In the corner, Krebs with it. Myers lays that back down. Tyler Myers drops it back to Lucic. That pass missed Toffoli and goes back down the ice. Both are watching Norway changing. Thought about the quick up, but leaves it back for Pierre-Olivier Joseph. Sweden has grabbed a 2-1 lead on Denmark as Carcone moves in. That centering pass is picked off by Vikingstad. Looks in the air, but not out. As Cody Glass knocked it down, looking for Blay there. And Isaac Hansen got a stick on him. Blay was getting the corner by Hansen. We had a word for him on the way by. The youngster, 19-year-old Hansen.
scoring today.
In the first period, Sondre Olden made it 2-0 in the second. Milan Lucic came back with a goal about 7 minutes after that. And here is Middleton with it. Up ahead for Krause. That's poke checked away by Trentinez. Works it in, shoots. Hofer makes the stop and hangs on.
Stymied on the breakout time and again in this game. Canada's coming around the net. They think they're gonna have a breakout pass, and Austin Krause can't handle it. Presents it to the middle of the ice, and turnover, and back comes Norway. Haven't been able to link up the second and third pass to key up anything on transition.
Brought out by Justin Barron, 21-year-old from Halifax, who played Montreal this year. Also played with Laval in the American League as McBain pulls that free. Neighbors. Gonna move that back across, and Bear is back with it. McBain lifts that down. Bogdahl lost the puck to Neighbors. And Martinson slides that back to Kostestuhl. Bear works that free for Neighbors. Up to center ice, McBain slaps at that. Now banked back out as Johannesson picks it back up. Myers goes back, puck rolled away, icing waved off, and he got back. Up to center ice, this is Krebs. Rink wide pass to Joseph. Up ahead for Lucic, that's knocked away, and Olden feeds it back out. Lucic to Foley, and now Joseph fires it back in. Lead pass, Eric Salston moving in. Salston spins, throws it back in front. Myers knocked that down. He finds Toffoli. Drops it back to Myers, across it goes to Joseph. Up to Krebs. Krebs centers it to chest. Toffoli shoots, and the stop made by Arnson.
First shot for Canada of the period, and a good one.
Alvin Salston works in, throws it back in front. That's blocked by Weegar. He finds Toffoli, who's got Lawton with him. In comes Toffoli. Drops it off to Lawton. Works it in, shoots. That was off the stick of Liljeberg, up and out of play.
Canada's trying to be patient, wait for their chances. Ends up on their best goal scorer stick. Kane Krebs drives around Hansen. Gets the puck to Tyler Toffoli right in the slot, and a quick release. Just couldn't quite elevate it over the pad of Arnson. That's best look so far in the third period. 6 minutes in as the clock is ticking away.
Lawton for the face-off. He's been one of the tournament's best on the draw. And now Weegar. That's knocked down by Berg Paulson. Almost got a shot away. Thomas Berg Paulson. Spins that back down to Olsen. Norway's had some close calls in the tournament. The last lost 2-0 to Czechia. Lost 2-1 to Latvia. 3-0 to Switzerland, as you mentioned, on an empty net goal. Defending has not been the problem for them historically. It's been scoring enough goals.
In theory, they're not playing their number one goaltender in this game either, as Henrik Hockland's getting the day off. Arnson's no slouch.
Norway will play Slovakia tomorrow in a game that has medal round implications for the Slovaks. In comes Carconi. Carconi holds, slides out back to Middleton, works it and shoots! Not sure Arnson saw that, but it went off his arm and wide.
Flipped Sammy Blais on the way in as well. He's checking his stick to see if it broke.
Carconi. Back to Middleton again. That pass eluded him and goes back down the ice. Hofer. Up to Blais, but it's offside. The faceoff will come back down to the Canadian zone. 12:49 to go in the third period. Norway a 2-1 lead. Not as many Norwegians as there are Czechs, Swiss, and Slovaks here in Riga, but they've been noisy too.
They were all circling this morning. We're outside doing our work and bumped into some Norwegian fans having some fun while we tried to record some stuff for the show.
Eric Salston with it. Knocked down by Myers, who throws that rink wide.
There may not be a lot of them, but if they win this game, they'll be noisy.
No kidding. Haga. Tied up by Bear and now knocked down by Lucic. Ryan Lucic. Moves at him, goes into the forecheck on Kostas-Stool. Krogdahl. Threads it ahead. Pasterheim down on Hofer. Taps that back across to Barron. Lead pass to Carconi. Lifts it down in the Norwegian zone. As Krogdahl goes back and Blaine stepped into him. Hoff winds his way in. Blaine back across to Middleton. To Carconi, chips that down. Moves into England Anderson and Carconi with a big hit in the corner. Pasterheim. Moves out ahead, Hofer out to play it. Bangs that back around to Uyghur. McBean way ahead of the play as Carconi brings it out. In comes Carconi. Has a look in. Williamberg bumps him. And the puck loose by the Norwegian goal. Picked up by Krause. Lawson Krause to Joseph. Shoots, that's blocked by Olsen. Knocked the stick out of his hands. Krause shoots, fired that just wide. Uyghur pokes that ahead. McBean chopped it towards the goal. And Hansen plays it back around. Olsen without a stick. Krause plays the puck back, and it's moved by Joseph. In comes Vikingstad into his shifts and can't get a shot away. Rink wide to Myers, who kicks that ahead. And Krause snaps that rink wide for Quinn. Quinn got spun around. Here's Lawton on it. And Jack Quinn reaching for it. Chop back in front. Krogdahl's got it back for Norway. In for Trentinez. Trentinez rink wide for Martinson. Moves it and falls. A chance now for Canada. Neighbors moving back the other way along with Hunt and Toffoli. The drop pass for Myers. Tyler Myers back around for Carconi. And Carconi picks it free. Back he goes to Krebs. Krebs for Myers. Walks in and shoots short side. Rebound! Toffoli turned away. Another chance. Toffoli snapped that line. Toffoli taken down. He thought there should have been a penalty. And a big hit by Myers sent Olam flying. Hunt fires that back down in the Norwegian zone. Past the midway point of the third period. Canada applying some pressure here. Back at the point is Barron. Skipped away from him. Olden comes in. And Bear chipped that away. Neighbors. Up for Krebs. Krebs got squeezed off a puck by Olden. And Hansen plays it back around. Eric Salston to Olden. Moves it on Barron. Olden still with it. Throws it back in front. Just missed Eric Salston with that pass. Liljeberg. Howard Salston. Hansen shoots. That deflected in front. It's knocked out by Barron. That goes down to the goaltender Arnson. And play continues here. Inside 9 to go in the third. Krogdahl. Bangs that wide of the goal. Back is Middleton to pick it up. Hoff. Tied up by Uyghur. Uyghur finds Krause. Up the ladder for Quinn. He was poke checked there by Kostas-Stool. And Krogdahl back with it. Long time between whistles here in the third period.
Can't go fast enough for Norway.
Martinson. Up ahead to Olam. Olam spins and shoots. That was knocked away by Myers. Olam swung around and flipped that wide. Canada out shooting Norway just 4-2 here in the third period. Myers gains center ice and wrists that down. This is Lawton with Blais and Toffoli in the forward line for Canada. Canada came to the tournament with 13 forwards and 7 defensemen. Joe Veleno suspended for the balance of the tournament. And Adam Fantilli ejected in the second period. Here's Hunt with it. Puts ahead for Lucic. That's knocked down by Lilleberg. Off the line, squeezed by Bear. Covered Solston. We watched there by Hunt. Bear for Glass. Krebs with it. Up and to Cody Glass. Rink wide, he goes to Krebs. In shoots. It was off the stick of Hansen. Lilleberg back with it. And the youngster Hansen, the 19-year-old, getting a regular rotation here in the third period. Now brought in by Berg Paulson. He shoots. Hofer makes the stop and hangs on. 2-1 Norway leads here in the third. Left, Alex Tangig, the assistant coach, drawing things up. Andre Tournier, the head coach. DJ Smith also on the bench.
That's a 6-on-5 formation.
Right.
For what's coming in 5 minutes if they don't score before that.
Haga wins that face-off back to Krogdahl. And Krogdahl shoots, it got through, and Hofer steers that up and out.
Tyler Toffoli has had the only 2 chances for Canada in this period. Quick little pop pass in front that was turned aside by Arntzen, and then a rebound here, which is the best save maybe of the game for Arntzen. Spits out, Toffoli gets lots on it. He gets across with a blocker on a puck that Toffoli got up in the air and makes the save.
Here's Salta with it. Gonna throw that back in front. Glass got it free for Myers, up for Toffoli. Moving in with Carcone. And Toffoli chips it down. Krogdahl. Slammed down by Toffoli there, wrestling behind the play. Lugged down by Joseph. And now Toffoli gets back on it. He's got Glass in front. Toffoli drops it back. Carcone shoots. That's tipped wide. Glass back to Toffoli. Inside 6 to go. Tyler Toffoli spins away from Haga. Toffoli. Got to work that back in front. There's Glass on it. Haga for Solston, chips it back down to the Canadian zone. Quinn leaves it back for Joseph. Lawton winds his way in. Scott Lawton shoots, knocked away. Krause has got it. Lawton trying to work that free. A Norwegian defender lost his stick. That was
also just passed the stick back to Lilleberg. That's interference. You cannot do that. Shot his teammates back, stick back to him so he can pick it up. It's a miss.
Down goes Krause, defending on Olsen. And it's picked free by Lawton. Kicks it in for Quinn. Chance for a 2-on-1 here. Jack Quinn works in, slides it back across. That's disrupted by Krogdahl. Back around is Quinn with it. Inside 5 to go in the third. And Brad Hunt picks it free. Norway changing. In comes Quinn. His stick was tied up by Kassestool. And play continued. Bear chips that for Hunt. Out to center ice. Krebs to Lucic. Here's Blay with it. Bangs that back around for Bear. Krebs trying to poke that ahead. Here's Olam with a chance. He's got Martinson with him. In comes Ken Olam to Martinson, back for Olam, loose in front. Hofer poked that away. Penalty coming to Canada. 4:06 to go here in the third period, and Canada's going to be shorthanded. 2-1, Norway leads. .406 to go in the third period. Canada's Brad Hunt has been called for slashing, so Norway gets another power play here. They had a 5-minute power play at the end of the second into the early third. Here's Olsen with it. And Lawson Krause sends that to center ice, picked up by Lawton. One-on-one with England Anderson. Lawton has done some great penalty killing work here for Canada.
There'll be no hanging out in the neutral zone for these Norwegians. 5 of them back in their own end to make sure to try to not give up a shorthanded opportunity. If you're Canada, you got to leak out. You got to be looking for breaks if you can get one.
There'll be about 2 minutes left in the third period if Canada kills it off. Here's Uyghur, looks it high in the air, knocked down by Johannesson. Across it goes to England. Anderson shoots, that goes wide. Vikingstad plays it back in to Olsen. Middleton fires that back down. And Johannesson has it back for Norway. It's like they're killing their own penalty. Olam slides that down, that goes wide. Inside 3 to go in the third period. Bear trying to dig that free. Picked up by Krebs. Lifts it back down the ice. 25 seconds to go in the Norwegian power play. Liljeberg. Up for Krogdahl. Rolling puck. Uyghur goes back for it. And Uyghur slaps it off the sideboards and out to center ice. Final seconds now of the power play. And that'll do it. Hunt steps back on. Now we'll keep an eye on Joel Hofer, the Canadian goal. When Canada gains possession, Olam moves it back in, knocked down by Carcone. Cross he goes to Uyghur, and Hofer inching his way out. Carcone. Hofer goes to the Canadian bench. Krebs working in, on comes the extra skater to Foley. Krebs works that back to Uyghur, to Carcone. Back to Uyghur, 6 skaters on 5 for Canada. Krebs snaps it back across. Uyghur shoots. Save made. And as Arnson made the first stop, rebound goes back to Carcone. For Quinn. Jack Quinn feeds down to Krause. That's knocked away. And for the empty net goes Johannesson. That misses. Back goes Uyghur, icing call, 1:22 to go in the third, and Canada will like to call timeout.
Well, you got a really tired group of Norwegian defenders. Do you want to leave them out there? As there's a shot that gets through, Lawson Krause tries again, and Arntzen seals the bottom of the net. And if I'm Canada...
And Tournier sent the official, no timeout.
Yeah. If you win this face-off, you're going to have clean possession.
Long for the draw against Trentonez.
Something down the far end of the ice. This is convenient.
There's a broken stick or something. And here we go. Trentonez won the face-off. Johannesson banks ahead. Trentonez to Olam. He's got Martinson ahead. That's knocked down by Carcone. Rink wide to Foley. Up for Krause. And they call it icing on Canada. 1:08 to go. And the Canadians didn't like that call much.
I was trying to say that Krause got a piece of it. Don't think he did. So now minute 8, that is over back in the net. Did you get a touch on this? Tough to say. Didn't look like it.
Here is Krause, but Hofer beats the puck up the ice. 6 skaters on 5 again. Quinn kicks that back to Uyghur. Inside a minute to go in the third period. Norway trying to beat Canada for the second time all time at the World Championship. Quinn plays it back around. Vikingstad on it. Lifts that ahead. It's knocked down by Uyghur. Played across the lot. Lawton shoots. Arntzen got a piece of that. And just a piece. Quinn kicks that around to Foley for Lawton. Back to Uyghur. Cross he goes. Carcone to Uyghur. Swings it back across to Lawton. Looks down to Quinn. For to Foley. Uyghur has a look and shoots. Arntzen a rebound off the goalpost. Great chance there for Quinn. Arntzen freezes it. And a terrific chance in the dying seconds for Canada to tie it.
Well, they finally get a wrister on in and gets all the way to the net, banging around off Johannesson. That's a tough angle. Hit short side. Wow, what an effort by Quinn just to chop it back. Probably would have been better off if it had gone straight across in front of the net because you had Carcone sitting on the far post. But it's almost an impossible angle. And after that, it's Lilleberg, then Arntzen. Wow, and 6 Norwegians in the crease.
And Canada will call timeout.
Yeah, now you'll call your timeout. 17 seconds is still enough time to do something with a 1 draw. Scott Lawton a breather. Now it's not on his strong side. You prefer the face-off on the other side for the lefty Lawton. Alex Tanguay is the power play and late game situational coach. He will be just possession obviously on the face-off and then get down in the front of the net. You know that there will be 3 Norway defenders posting up around the front of the crease, blocking and diving and doing anything they can to not let it get to their goalie.
So it'll be Glass for the face-off against Trentonez. Lucic is out there now. Glass wins it cleanly right into the Norwegian bench. Norwegians are saying that should come outside.
The argument would be they both kind of were swiping at the same time. I get what Tobias Johansson's saying. He's the one who flung it back here. The laws of physics would dictate it likely hit Glass to stick last.
Right. The Glass in again against Trentonez. That's won by Trentonez. Carcone picks it up. Carcone throws it back in front. Krause scores! Lawson Krause ties the game. 11 seconds to go. And the Norwegians are hot now. They thought there was a trip in the corner. They thought the faceoff should have been outside.
Well, Carcone got away with a trip right off the faceoff. Lawson Krause, 11 seconds left. And watch on the near side, well, there's the faceoff that Glass does win clean into the bench. There's complaint number 1 for Norway. Watch Carcone there, slashing the skates of Johannesson, and then that's a heck of a release by Lawson Krause to wheel his body around and able to lift it up far side. Oh, wow. How he gets that wide open is unreal this late in the game. And Canada pulls a point or more right from the jaws of defeat.
Lawson Krause, his 4th goal of the tournament, and Canada evens it up 11 seconds to go. Trailing since the first period, and this game will go to overtime. 2-2 the score, heading for the extra period. Was 11 seconds away from taking Canada down, but now it's on to 3-on-3 overtime. There have been so many examples of late heroics for Canada over the years. In 2019, Mark Stone, a goal, 1 second left for a game winner, overtime games, you name it. Canada is 12-6 all-time in overtime at the World Championship. The shootouts have not been as kind. Norway 2-6 all-time in OT as Lawson Krause from Mount Bridges, Ontario, is the hero to tie the game here at 2, and that sets up the game tomorrow between Canada and Czechia. With that, at least a point now, the winner of tomorrow's game between Canada and Czechia gets second. Had Canada lost this game in regulation, they would have had to win in regulation tomorrow to get second.
So it cleans it up. Whatever else happens in this game does not matter. Winner of tomorrow's game gets second, loser gets third, and on they go. Well, depending on the Latvia result, but likely third. And so now we go 5 minutes overtime, and Latvia's been defending so hard. They had a couple cracks at making plays on empty nets as well that they were not able to cash in on.
Norway went to overtime in its first game. They blew 2 two-goal leads against Kazakhstan, lost in a shootout. They led this game by 2 as well. Olam with it. Rolling puck as he moves in, feeds it across, Trettenes fires, Koper save, and he grabs it. When you think about that long 5-minute power play that Norway had that Canada killed off.
They can't bear to hear about any more power plays that they missed.
Yeah,
it's been a story of their tournament, and it did not help them again in this game. But you know what? Trying to reset mentally if you're Norway.
Yeah, right.
We're in overtime.
Yeah.
We would have taken that.
Sure.
We got a point out off of Canada. We can get 2. We can get a win. Just the second time ever. So easier said than done, though. You're just devastated you didn't get it done so close to the finish line.
Bouncing puck at the side of the goal. Lawton goes racing to it. And Johannesson plays it back in. Another consideration for the Norwegian end. Look out, Hofer missed on that puck. Is the further they finish up the standings, the better they'll place in Olympic qualification. They drew to a tough group in 2021 because of a low ranking, so they'll want to finish as high as possible to give themselves the best possible group for Olympic qualification in 2025. And that's based on the IIHF World Ranking after this tournament. 4 to go in OT. Olden moves in. So Andre Olden winds in, shoots. That's deflected wide by Joseph. McBain on it now.
Go.
Along with Quinn. Jack Quinn winds in with Joseph. In comes Quinn. Tied up there by Haga. Quinn back for Joseph. Pierre-Olivier Joseph walks in, shoots. And the save is made by Arnson.
Run a little 3-man weave up top, and Lilleberg, the defenseman, gets stuck down by the hash marks, and it's Joseph against Lilleberg, D on D.
Arnson's kind of slow to get to his feet here.
I wonder if that one caught him in the midsection. He's going to finish this one out.
The lower midsection.
Mid-body.
Now Glass for the face-off. And Krebs reaching for it. That's knocked out by Ola. Picked up by Uyghur. Ahead to Krebs with Glass. Peyton Krebs spins back in the corner. Watched by Trenton, feeds that down to Glass, and the net's knocked off. And Uyghur's arguing that Norway did it on purpose.
They're going to say you can't change, but they're not going to give a penalty. Uyghur's trying to drive back door. Olam pivots.
Well, actually,
He could have stopped if he wanted to. He chose not to.
They're going to take the face-off outside. They're going to say that Uyghur's hit. Knocking that off.
The domino effect. Olam into Uyghur, into Lilleberg, into the net. Either way, the face-off comes out for Norway.
Johannesson to Berg Paulsen. Canada's been to overtime once in this tournament, a shootout win against Slovakia last Monday. That's knocked away by Glass, picked up by Johannesson. Johannesson threads out ahead, the pass misfired, and icing waved off as Hofer goes back.
Hofer likes the, here we go, up the middle.
Uyghur at the Glass, he's got Krebs with him. In comes Cody Glass. Walks in, drops for Krebs. Krebs in, back for Glass. The puck rolled off his stick. Glass, back for Krebs. Crisscrossing with Joseph. In comes Peyton Krebs, shoots. Arnson knocks that away. Glass back with it. Cody Glass, back for Joseph.
Don't let them change.
In comes Joseph with Toffoli. Carconi comes in late. Toffoli pulls it around. Tyler Toffoli in, shoots. Arnson the save. Juggles it and hangs on.
Nice job by Toffoli identifying the tired defender. That's Berg Paulsen. He's not moving his feet at all. Sell the shot because you can score from there. Drag it through, and Tyler Toffoli, if there's anyone's going to get a goal for Canada, it'd be him. He's been the only guy to really get multiple chances in this game.
Lawton for the face-off, wins that back to Toffoli. Uyghur swings it back across to Lawton. Scott Lawton being shadowed by Lilleberg for Uyghur. Uyghur being watched by Olam. Uyghur slings that back, the pass misfires. Toffoli's got to hustle back. Lilleberg closing quickly. Toffoli takes a look back. He got tied up.
He's
plays it for Uyghur.
He's going rope-a-dope. Slow down and draw him in.
In comes Olam with Trettenez. Olam for Trettenez, walks in and fires. Hofer the save. Uyghur's exhausted. Trettenez got the puck in. We welcome those of you who watched the Denmark-Sweden game here. Canada in overtime against Norway. Canada tied the game with 11.1 seconds left in the third on a goal by Lawson Krause after trailing 2-0 in the game. Here it's 3-on-3 overtime, 90 seconds remaining. Thomas Olsen winds back to center ice, being watched by Krause. Krause almost poked that free. And here is Hoff with it. Slides that back to Krogdahl. Ludwig Hoff winds it across the line with Olsen. Johannesson is trailing. Hoff winds back across, drops that back to Olsen. Poke check there by Quinn. And knocked to an open side. Joseph goes racing after it. Laid back down to Hoff. Off the bench comes Berg Paulsen for Norway. Hoff throws it back in front. Johannesson a shot. Hope for the save. Time winding down in overtime. Lead pass for Quinn. Chops that down as Arntzen goes back to play it. 30 seconds to go in overtime. And here is Vikingstad with it. 20 seconds left in OT. Vikingstad winds in. He's busted off the puck by Myers. Picked up by Glass. Time for one more rush up the ice. Glass looks ahead. He's got McBain. Jack McBain. Final seconds now. McBain throws that towards the front of the goal. Glass drops it back. Vikingstad picks it up, and Canada and Norway will go to a shootout. 2-2 the score through 60 minutes and overtime. The shootout is next. So both these teams been to one shootout. Norway lost a 6-rounder to Kazakhstan in its opener. Blew a couple of 2-goal leads in that game. Canada won an 8-rounder against Slovakia, and Andre Tournier clearly plays the percentages based on the NHL. The guys that shot twice were guys that have been good in the NHL this season. Cody Glass is 2 for 2 in the NHL. Jack Quinn's 3 for 5.
You want guys that are used to the moment as much as anything.
And the Norwegians go with the 19-year-old Isaac Hansen. He shot in the first game. He did not have a second of ice time in regulation or overtime. They say he's been their best in practice.
So he's good for 9 of 10 in practice.
So Hansen on Hofer to start the shootout. Isaac Hansen scores. He wanted to go.
I guess that's why you put him first. Sells it nice backhand and stops back. That is smooth as ever for the young defenseman.
Now Jack Quinn for Canada was 3 for 5 in shootouts in the NHL this season. He was 1 for 2 in that one against Slovakia.
He's a shooter.
In comes Quinn. Roll off his stick.
Trying to get a lot going on. Trying to go back 5-hole, but just mishandles it on the way in.
Sondre Olden shot twice at that shootout against Kazakhstan. Was 1 for 2. In comes Olden on Hofer. Scores!
Nice release. That shot, the goalies expect that to be right above the pad. He goes upstairs with it. See Hofer's blockers down. He goes right over the shoulder on a good finish.
Cody Glass, 2 for 2 in the NHL this season. 1 for 2 in the shootout against Slovakia. He scored the shootout winner in that game. Here comes Glass. Glass in, scores!
It's the same shot he scored against Kazakhstan. The quick 5-hole. Works again, comes a lot of speed. He's gonna get it right beside the right foot. Slips it home. That's a big goal to keep Canada within touch here.
Trentinez was stopped at his only attempt against Kazakhstan. Works in, Hofer down, he scores! They're 3 for 3 so far.
And Hofer hasn't really been close to any of them. He bites on the shot fake heavily. And after that, he's scrambling. Trentinez does it far enough away that he's able to go to the backhand to finish.
Toffoli was stopped at his only attempt in the shootout against Slovakia. Was 1 for 2 in the NHL this season. Toffoli. Wade scores!
Oh, man. It's so hard for a goal. He's going that slow, and then he can release it that quick.
Aronson tries to stare him down. He just one quick little pull and then way up as well.
That's a goal scorer's finish. It's been all offense so far, 5 of 6 combined.
Haga works in on Hofer, and he's stopped.
Haga went with like a little flick of the puck
At the blue line, and
and it sort of started rolling on edge for some reason. And he never really recovered. See it bobbling around
as he goes to the backhand.
Carconi shot twice against the Slovaks. Scored on one of them. Here he comes to even it up. Carconi walks in, stopped. So now Norway can win it.
And he does catch the wrong hand, so it's a blocker over there, not a catcher, and he's gets it right in the middle as Thomas Olsson now has a chance to win the game.
He was stopped at his only attempt against Kazakhstan. In he comes to win it against Canada. Olsson scores! And Norway wins it. Norway beats Canada for the second time ever at the World Championship, taking it 3-2 in a shootout. So Canada comes back to tie it late and get a point. But Norway takes it for a 3-2 win. Norway will wrap up tomorrow in the first game of the day against Slovakia. Canada will take on Czechia.
Exact same move that Hansen used
To open the scoring, Olsson used to end the scoring.
as he goes back against the grain and puts everything in the net. The puck, himself, whatever. And Norway, who played hard, had the lead down to the final 11 seconds, rewarded for a tremendous effort. Just the second win against Canada all time. Oh, look at the celebration. Arntzen and Hochland, that's beautiful stuff right there. Big moment for them.
They won't make the quarterfinals, but they take home a pretty good memory here. And time now for the player of the game presentations and then the Norwegian national anthem.
The prizes will be presented by Frank Randall, IIHF Council member and tournament co-chair, Riga.
Labākos apbalvos Starptautiskās hokeja federācijas padomes loceklis un pasaules čempionāta Rīgas posma orga komitejas līdzpriekšsēdētājs Frans Raindlis.
Best player for Team Canada.
Labākais spēlētājs Kanādas izlasē.
Number 57, numur 57, Tyler Myers.
A lot of penalty killing work tonight for Tyler Myers, with especially that 5-minute power play that Norway had at the end of the second, early third. Playing his third World Championship. He was a gold medalist at the World Junior for Canada back in 2009.
Best player for Team Norway.
Labākais spēlētājs Norvēģijas izlasē.
Number 18, numur 18, Thomas Olsen.
Thomas Olsen, the player of the game for Norway. They'll be celebrating tonight. Well, briefly, they got a game tomorrow. And now the Norwegian national anthem, which translated to English means, yes, we love this country. Ja, vi elsker dette landet.
Dear all, please raise, if you are able to, for the national anthem of Norway.
Dāmas un kungi, lūdzam piecelties par godu Norvēģijas valsts himnai.
The 2023 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship will continue today in Riga at 8:20 p.m. with the game Kazakhstan against Slovenia.
Starptautiskās hokeja federācijas pasaules čempionāts Rīga turpināsies šovakar 2022. Pirmais Kazahstānas un Slovenijas sastāvībā.
second time ever Norway defeats Canada. The last time was in 2000. Do you remember anything from that game? Did that help inspire you here today?
It's been a long time, so it was about time. I remember it a little bit from when I was younger, but we had a coach from before who always talked about it, so it's nice to finally beat Canada.
Big game for yourself. You scored in regulation as well as in the shootout. Going into that shootout shot, did you know what you were going to do?
Yeah, you know, you always think a little bit before, but I was just trying to see at the goalie, and you know, it's, you know, you just decide when you're on the ice what you're going to do, and you know, luckily it went in.
Will this moment be talked about with the team for a very long time?
Yeah, I mean, it's big for us to beat Canada. Yeah, of course, I'm going to talk about it for a long time. So yeah, it was a huge win.
And then can you answer this last question in Norwegian?
Yep.
I'll ask you. Big win for Norway here today against Canada. Talk about what went well for your team today and how you managed to get this win.
Altså, vi alle jobber hardt sammen. Vi ligger på rett side og gir dem egentlig ikke så mye. Vi presser dem hardt hele matchen. Og ja, vi er bra i det defensive, så det er klart at det er en nøkkel til å vinne mot et sånt lag.
Thank you. Congrats again. Lawson, what'll be the takeaway in this one?
Just got to be better. You know, all of these teams are playing so well defensively. We need to find a way to get internal scoring chances and go from there.
There's a win to take away from this is the fact that you guys gained a point. You still have another game to prepare for the knockout rounds.
Yeah, you know, obviously it's a quick turnaround. It's a short tournament. Obviously learn on what we did wrong tonight and get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a big one.
Thank you.